As we move into storm season, here's something most homeowners don't realize after a storm. Roof damage isn't always obvious. Wind can lift shingles, breaking the seal. Hail can bruise them below, and flashing around chimneys and pipes can loosen without you ever knowing. That damage may not show up for months. If your area has strong wind or hail, a professional inspection will help bring you clarity before small damage turns into bigger problems.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. It has been a chilly day across North Mississippi throughout our Sunday. Unfortunately, those conditions are going to continue overnight tonight and get even chillier as we start off our work week tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Caleb Edelblut. Thank you so much for joining me here in the Room Weather Center. And I have to ask you, did you stay warm? Just because for me, I'm not a fan of the colder weather, but I know we've been above average for a while now. So for those of you who like the chillier weather and enjoying the winter season, well, these conditions are perfect for you. And good news, it's going to stick around for a little bit. Keep those layers handy because overnight tonight into pretty much all throughout your Monday, all throughout your Monday and into your Monday night, going to be very, very chilly. But thankfully, that moisture is going to start building up. It will return day by day as we get further and further along into the work week, and then we'll start to see those rain chances come back due to that moisture building up. We're going to be tracking all of that out here in the Room Weather Center. But let's focus on the first 12 as we track out pretty much the rest of our Sunday night and get ready for the work week ahead. Chilly conditions, that continues to be the story. Low 40s by 7 o'clock, enjoying those clear, constant skies all night long. Already dropping to right around freezing by that 10 o'clock broadcast, so already reaching that point earlier tonight as compared to last night. Continue dropping into the upper 20s by 1 o'clock, mid 20s by 4. By the time we're starting off our Monday morning tomorrow, we are starting off in the low 20s, feeling much lower just due to that wind continuing to bug us that I know we have felt pretty much all day long across North Mississippi. So let's take some live looks across our viewing area. This is out there in Macon, 46 degrees, feels like 40, that 14 mile per hour wind coming out of the northwest. So that wind, I know it has been bugging us all day long, making us not only experience these frigid conditions, but make us feel that chillier compared to the actual temperatures outdoors. Same thing goes out here for Greenville, 48 degrees, feels like 42, 15 mile per hour winds coming out of the northwest. That just continues to keep us thankfully dry. You can not see a cloud out there in the atmosphere. And take a look at that dew point, 23 degrees, just showing how dry we are in our atmosphere right now. That's why we don't really see any of that cloud cover above us. That's going to continue into our Monday, tonight and into our Monday ahead tomorrow. Let's take another look out here in Tupelo. 43 degrees, feels like 37, that 9 mile per hour wind. So not quite hitting double digits, sign of some relief here in Lee County, but definitely still frigid conditions, already feeling like we're in the upper 30s for the 6 o'clock hour today. But take a look at our temperature change. I showed this yesterday and we saw kind of more of that decrease out west, and that's because y'all got to experience that temperature change a lot sooner than those pretty much along Highway 45 and east. So y'all have been experiencing these conditions a little bit longer, showing that aren't really changing too much, but still dropping slightly. But the further east you go, you can see where that temperature change continues to push on through North Mississippi, getting almost to minus 20 out there in Macon. So minus 19 in Macon and Aliceville, minus 18 in Louisville, minus 13 out there in Houston, and pretty much everyone out further west experiencing those single digit differences. But almost all of us seeing that decrease continue into the overnight hours, and that is just basically the story of this forecast as we wrap up our weekend. But as we take a look at our Mama Justice Doppler radar, we're at least enjoying dry conditions. So not tracking any of these rain chances moving across North Mississippi that we experienced earlier on into our weekend and the end of the work week. We at least get to stay dry, enjoy any outdoor plans you have. Just definitely going to want to keep those layers on as you continue to do so. But let's take a look at kind of our surface analysis and what's going on around the country. That high pressure system out to our west, especially out there in Texas and even into Colorado and Denver area, that is what's funneling all this wind into our atmosphere and pretty much into North Mississippi. That's what's making us feel this Arctic air allowing us to feel a lot cooler than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. And I'm even covering up what the action is across our county, or excuse me, our country. There's that low pressure system, a very intense nor'easter, pretty much just along the East Coast. I actually just saw something that New York City is under a blizzard warning for the first time since 2017. So just showing how major that is impacting those out there in the Northeast, shutting down travel across several states. And I think there was something that the Olympics said that our men's hockey team, which won gold today, very exciting to see, can't even fly back into New York overnight. They have to go all the way down into Miami to land and make their way back to the States. So just kind of showing the impacts occurring across the Northeast. But for us here in Mississippi, we're staying dry, staying chilly, but definitely not as chilly as compared to our neighbors up north. So let's go to Futurecast and kind of talk about what's occurring across our area for the next few hours. I'll even zoom this out just a little bit so we can kind of picture everything going on. Just take a look at that wind. That's why we feel super cold, which I'll zoom this in just a little bit so we can kind of see a clear picture of everything going on. There we go. You can see that wind kind of funneling in all the way from the north, and that's what's making us feel super, super cold as we go about our Sunday night, pretty much all throughout our day, and that's going to continue overnight into tomorrow. This is starting off right at the end of this broadcast, continuing into the overnight hours. That high pressure system continues to shift further and further east, getting closer to North Mississippi, but those high pressure systems continuing to work together, funneling in that Arctic air across our viewing area. That's what's making us feel a lot cooler than those temperatures outdoors. You can see all that snow, moisture, and precip staying very well northeast of our area, especially that major snowstorm out there affecting those just off of the coast. But we're still staying dry here in North Mississippi, and just take a look at that wind continuing to blow across our viewing area. That's allowing us to stay dry as well, not really seeing much of that cloud cover. We can see that right here on the next 24. Just sunshine all day long, almost a rinse and repeat from today into tomorrow. Still staying dry, of course. Mid-20s by 6 o'clock, working our way up slowly towards the upper 20s by 9, mid-30s by 12, and most of us will struggle to get into the low 40s as our highs tomorrow. So going to be a much chillier day ahead. And of course, we're going to see another chilly evening as well. Mid-30s already by that 6 o'clock broadcast hour, and then already in the upper 20s before the 10 o'clock broadcast tomorrow night. So make sure to keep those layers handy. It's going to be a chilly overnight period tonight, a chilly period for your Monday, even into your Monday night. But good news is on the way as we get further into the work week. I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know as we wrap up our weekend, get ready for the work week ahead, and when to expect those rain chances and warmer temperatures back. All that's coming up after this break.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
By the time you see the symptoms of lung cancer, it could be too late. Now there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early. If you smoked, get scanned.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Let's take a look at our evening planner as we track out the rest of our Sunday night for any outdoor plans or events you have. It's going to be a chilly one, but going to be a beautiful one with those dry conditions above. Mid-30s by 8 o'clock, clear, dry skies all night long. Cooling on off towards the freezing point right around 11 o'clock, upper 20s by 2. And those temperatures, they're going to keep dropping as we continue into the overnight hours ahead. But let's take a look at those current conditions right now across North Mississippi. A majority of us already in the low 40s, a few of us in the upper 30s. 39 in Red Bay, 38 in Iuka, and 39 again out there in Corinth. But for those in the southern portions of the Delta, y'all have it the best. Upper 40s, 48 in Greenwood, 47 in Cleveland and Belzona, and 48 out there in Greenville. So still going to be a chilly overnight period ahead, so make sure to keep those layers on all night long and definitely throughout your Monday tomorrow. But let's also take a look at that wind chill, kind of just showing that those temperatures we were just talking about, we're not really feeling across North Mississippi, seeing that wind continue to impact us, not only just being annoying to deal with outside, but making us feel a lot cooler than those temperatures as well. So let's go back to Futurecast to talk about what to expect for the rest of the night. We're not tracking out any cloud cover, any rain chances. We're staying very dry for the rest of our evening. Thankfully, that's going to continue all night long. Not really tracking anything out, just seeing that constant wind continue blowing on across North Mississippi, even by the 10 o'clock hour. That's still what we're going to be talking about as we get ready to head to sleep and get ready for the work week tomorrow. Even as this is in play, you can kind of tell it's in play with some cloud cover behind me moving and shifting. But for us here in North Mississippi, going to be a dry, clear, sunny start to our Sunday morning. Thankfully, that's going to stick around all day long as well. Now, the main story of this broadcast is talking about those lows. We're definitely reaching below freezing overnight tonight. Going to feel a lot cooler as well. So let's make sure to continue to protect those pipes, pets, plants, everything you have outdoors. You definitely want to continue to protect them because, I mean, we are below freezing everywhere across North Mississippi. I think our highest is 29 out there in Greenville, but low 20s all across North Mississippi, 21 in Red Bay, Iuka, and Corinth, 22 out there in Oxford and Water Valley. But also what we really want to know is how it's going to feel outdoors. So that wind chill around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, I mean, brutal. Pretty much in the low teens across some of our viewing area. 11 out there in Red Bay, Iuka, Boonville, and Corinth. Y'all have it the worst. 12 in Holly Springs, 14 in South Haven, and 15 in Senatobia. Now, the further south you go, a little bit warmer, but I mean, we're still talking about upper teens. The warmest we can see on this graphic is 22 out there in Belzona. So it's going to be a chilly start to the day, but also going to be chilly all day long, constantly feeling below what those actual temperatures are. Stick with us for the rest of the broadcast. I'll be tracking out that wind chill all throughout your Monday, so you can kind of plan and make your best plans accordingly. But of course, with it being Sunday night, got to put in that school day graphic. Going to be a chilly day ahead tomorrow for the kids. Low 20s by the time they are getting dropped off at school, only working their way up into the mid 30s by lunchtime. And even once they're getting out of school, struggling to make it into the low 40s for our highs. So going to be very chilly tomorrow. Thankfully, that chilliness only going to last for just a few more days before we see those warmer conditions arrive. Now, Futurecast still showing dry and clear conditions. We're going to see some of those thin, wispy clouds make their way into North Mississippi slightly. Notice how it's trying its best to build up by 8 o'clock in the morning. So still seeing mostly clear, if not completely clear conditions, definitely dry conditions. That cloud cover is just not going to stick around for forever. They're thin, wispy clouds super high in the atmosphere. You practically got to look for them if you're just trying to find anything in the sky. They're already starting to dissipate just due to that northerly wind, allowing us to continue to stay dry all day long, even into the afternoon hours. That cloud cover already out of here, not bothering anyone here in North Mississippi. So these cold conditions, they're going to last all day long with pretty much no clouds in the sky. Basically a rinse and repeat of what we experienced today. Now those high temperatures, like I mentioned, struggling to make it into the low 40s. Most of us in the upper 30s. 37 out there in Red Bay and Iuka, 39 New Albany and Oxford, 38 in Senatobia, South Haven, and 39 out there in Tunica. Now for those of us that make it into the low 40s, again, we're not really feeling like we're there just due to those feels like values dropping us significantly, pretty much back down into the mid to upper 30s. 36 in Columbus, 37 out there in Starkville and Louisville, 39 in Eupora. So basically just an all-around brutal, chilly day for our Monday. That's going to continue into your Tuesday, but warmer conditions, they are on the way. And of course, if you want to enjoy some time outdoors, go outside, play some pickleball. I know me and my friends are going to try to do so tomorrow afternoon, but I am definitely going to have those layers on because I don't do well with the cold. But no matter what time you want to go out there, maybe before work, after school, before school, no matter what the time is, it will be dry and beautiful. Just got to deal with that cold. Low 20s by the time you start off the day, mid 30s by lunchtime, low 40s if you make it there by the afternoon hours. And then by the time that sun sets and the evening starts, it's going to start getting pretty cold pretty quick yet again. Those low temperatures Tuesday night, this is another big focus point of our forecast. We're seeing even cooler temperatures for your Monday night into your Tuesday morning with low 20s all across North Mississippi. 20 out there in Columbus, Houston, and Bruce, so on the cusp of upper 20s. 22 in Iuka and Oxford and Senatobia, and 26 out there in Clarksdale. So another chilly day and chilly start to the day with those low temperatures, but take a look at that wind chill. Not as obvious of seeing that difference as compared to tomorrow morning and our Tuesday morning. So showing that wind pattern going to start shifting a little bit, start coming out of the south as compared to the north. And in doing so, it's going to make that wind not really have an effect on us anymore. And in doing so, we'll also bring that moisture back into the forecast warm us up and bring those rain chances as well. So let's kind of visualize that real quick on Futurecast. This is Monday evening as we get ready for our Tuesday morning ahead. Still seeing that northerly blow, but not as obvious. As we continue overnight, we can see that wind direction start to shift, come out of the south, and with that bringing in technically warmer conditions and more moisture from the Gulf. That will allow us to feel warmer as we continue into the work week. But by Tuesday morning, still going to be a clear start to your day, staying dry all day long as you get started with your Tuesday morning going into those mid-morning hours. Even by lunchtime, we're going to start to see that cloud cover start to make its way back into the forecast. Not really prominent, still very high, thin, wispy clouds, not really bothering any of us, but they continue to become more apparent as you go throughout your Tuesday, even into the evening hours. By dinner time, around 6:30, still seeing those partly cloudy conditions start making their way into North Mississippi. And they're going to stick around into the rest of your evening overnight hours, but by the time we make it into Wednesday, you can already see that huge influx of cloud cover starting to build back in, that constant southerly motion, showing a sign of warmer temperatures returning to North Mississippi, and of course, that moisture also returning as well. Starting to combine my words. But those high temperatures for your Tuesday, definitely a different color shade, a much better one in my opinion. Finally making our way back into the mid-50s. 55 out there in Hamilton and Amory and New Albany, 56 Water Valley, 58 Grenada and Greenwood, and 56 out there in Cleveland. Now take a look at those feels like values. Not really seeing a difference. So you can get through today, which we're basically already done with the day. Get through tomorrow, and you're going to be good. Tuesday feeling a lot better, already getting closer towards those average conditions, and we're going to be back to above average before you know it. So just got to get through the next 24 hours, and you're going to be good to go. We can see that right here on the 7-day forecast. Another clear start to our Monday that's going to last all day long. Overnight lows are going to be very chilly as we start off our day. Slowly warming up towards the low 40s for our highs, but notice for Tuesday and Wednesday, that cloud cover continues to build on up until by Thursday. We're going to see those rain chances continue to move across North Mississippi, pretty much just sweep across, getting a majority of us an opportunity to see those rain chances. Now, for those thunderstorm chances, not real confident on that. We're expecting more rain showers to move on through. Of course, that's going to be a good thing to continue to keep your eyes on throughout the work week with our chief meteorologist, Matt Laubon, of course, our Gabe Maynor and Maggie McCauley as they continue tracking that out all week long. But then post-Thursday, we're going to be enjoying drier and more beautiful conditions next weekend. Low 60s for your Fridays, upper 60s by your Saturday, and then mid 60s yet again for your Sunday. So hoping that forecast can verify. Of course, we got to get through a whole work week first before we can enjoy them. But hey, let's continue enjoying our Sunday night before we start off the work week tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. I told you we're going to be tracking out that wind chill for what will be a brutally chilly day tomorrow. That's coming up right after this break.
It's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing from 11.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Can I ask a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog, but she's little.
Do you have any unlocked guns around the house?
We do have a gun, but it's stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, of course.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Let's take a look at your hour by hour as we continue into the overnight period ahead. Going to be a chilly one, like we keep mentioning, pretty much starting off around the mid-30s by 7 o'clock as we're wrapping up this broadcast, but a steady decline in those temperatures as we already reached pretty much below freezing by that 10 o'clock broadcast later on tonight. Stay below freezing for the rest of the overnight period as well, so make sure to drip those faucets, protect those pipes, open those cupboards, maybe even put a heater next to the pipes as well, because we haven't felt like we've been needing to do that recently, because we haven't, just due to how above average we have been. But winter, it's still occurring here in North Mississippi, and we are definitely starting to remember and feel that. But we're even going below the scale. I couldn't even get one to fit all the different numbers here. So dipping just slightly below the low or mid-20s into your 4, 5, 6 o'clock time frame, then already warming back up into the upper 20s tomorrow morning. So going to be a chilly start. We can cover those wind chill values for that 6 o'clock time frame tomorrow. This was the graphic I showed y'all earlier, talking about low teens across North Mississippi, especially around Red Bay, Iuka, Boonville, and Corinth coming in around 11, 12 out there in Holly Springs, 15 in Oxford, 17 out there in Water Valley. But I wanted to track out that wind chill throughout the rest of your Monday because, I mean, we still got a lot of the day to go besides just 6 o'clock. So let's kind of visualize that together. We can see that northerly wind continuing to blow across North Mississippi, making us feel a lot cooler. But this is starting off around 8 o'clock. So not the actual temperatures outdoors, just what it's going to feel like. So for those that were close to single digits, there you go, Iuka, 9 degrees is what it's going to feel like as you start off your Monday morning tomorrow. Majority of us pretty much in the teens. Highest value is out there in Greenville coming in around 21. But as we continue into the mid-morning time frame, by 10 o'clock, we're going to start to see those teens start to rise up just a little bit, going into the low 20s. Even Greenville out there getting closer and closer towards the low 30s, but still going to be just a all-around chilly start to your Monday morning. Even by lunchtime, a majority of us feeling like we are below freezing. And I say majority of us, pretty much all of us feeling like we're below freezing. Even for those out there in Corinth, 19 degrees is what it's still going to feel like. So not even making your way into the low 20s by that lunchtime hour. Upper 20s elsewhere, especially out there in the Delta, 28 in Grenada and Greenwood, 30 out there in Belzona, 34 in Greenville. I think y'all are going to have it the best tomorrow as y'all go throughout y'all's day. But even into the mid-afternoon hours by 3 o'clock, I mean, a majority of us still in the upper 20s, low 30s across North Mississippi, 25 in Iuka, Boonville, and Corinth, 29 in Oxford, 33 in Clarksdale and Cleveland, and 38 still out there in Greenville. Y'all definitely have it the best. As we continue throughout our Monday evening, getting ready for dinner time around 5 o'clock, still pretty much in the upper 20s all across North Mississippi. Still seeing that blue all across North Mississippi, and I brought that up because we know that's obvious, but that color change, it's going to become a lot more apparent as we wrap up our Monday and get ready for our Tuesday. Deepening, getting those cooler values as we start dipping back into the teens overnight. This is at 9 o'clock tomorrow, so between that 6 and the 10 o'clock broadcast. So any outdoor events, intramural games, anything you have going on, still keep those layers handy as you wrap up your Monday and get ready for your Tuesday, especially dipping back into those upper teens. But tracking this out throughout the overnight period, as we start off our Tuesday morning, we're talking about those low teens across North Mississippi tomorrow. Well, we're still experiencing some of them. This time, thankfully, a little bit warmer, upper teens by Tuesday morning. 19 out there in Boonville, 17 in New Albany, 16 in Holly Springs, and 18 out there in Senatobia. So a sign that things are starting to warm up just slightly. Still going to be pretty unbearable in my opinion, but hey, we got this. Just got to layer up as we go throughout the day. I'm just not a fan of the cold. But here we go. Take a look at our Tuesday. That wind change is making us feel a lot more better. A very drastic switch coming out of the north originally, now coming out of the south. And that's what's going to bring that moisture back into our atmosphere and allow us to feel a lot better as we go throughout our Tuesday. So by Tuesday afternoon, pretty much around lunchtime, we're all seeing that blue color palette just shift on out of here. Some of us even entering the low 50s, 51 out there in Grenada, 50 in Greenwood, 52 Belzona and Greenville, and 50 out there in Cleveland. That's going to continue to be the story as we go throughout the rest of our Tuesday afternoons, even until that 5 o'clock broadcast hour. Much better conditions. Just like I mentioned, got to get through tomorrow morning, pretty much all throughout your Monday, Tuesday morning, but then around lunchtime and into the evening hours, you're going to feel a lot better. Just seeing that southerly motion, we're definitely going to be much more of a fan and a friend of that wind as it starts coming out of the south, allowing us to feel a lot better throughout our Tuesday. So I hope that kind of helps you kind of plan out the rest of your Monday as you go throughout the start of the work week. Of course, we're going to make sure to continue tracking that out as we wrap up our Sunday and get ready for the work week ahead. Here's the QR code to both the iOS and Android app. We appreciate all of you tuning in and, of course, downloading that app and sending us feedback as well for what works, what doesn't work, and what we can do to continue improving it for you guys out there. But like I just mentioned, we'll be live later on tonight at 10 as I'll make sure to wrap up y'all Sunday night with you guys, get you ready for your Monday ahead because it is definitely going to be a chilly start to the work week ahead, but thankfully we're going to see warmer conditions on the back half. So just got to get you ready for it. We're going to make it there together, guys. I know we can. But I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of y'all Sunday evening, and I'll see y'all back here in the Room to Room Weather Center tonight at 10.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.